I mean, obviously how successful this is going to be in 10 or 20 years, like it remains to be seen, right? Like it might fail, and it might be the case that like one of these, Silicon Valley people figures out that they can make an alt layer one and they can like bribe them all a huge amount, and they'll get like picked off and walk over despite everyone's original intentions. But like there's lots of ways in which this sort of stuff can socially fail, but like I feel like so far it's actually been surprisingly successful and more successful than I expected.
Nice. Thank you. Like, I don't understand Ethereum much, so I'm sorry, everyone, but I love it. It's an anthropologist's almost like wet dream to actually see this happen, because suddenly you can record everything that happened, and you cannot go back and change it. And that is wonderful for history, because you actually record humans the way that they were. So you can understand both societies and individuals better. And I've got... Are there any systems in place to make sure that Ethereum doesn't become a centralized behemoth?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think one of the really nice things that the foundation has going for it is that I think a lot of the core people involved like really don't want to become the centralized king. Like nobody really has like a dream of being the next Mark Zuckerberg. Like people like there's more people that just like wants to retire in 5 years and but wants to know that the thing that they're going to leave behind will actually be sustainable and stable, right? Like people. Like there's a lot of people who are like actively, averse to having power, and our executive director, Ayemi Aguchi, talks a lot about the philosophy of subtraction, which is basically that instead of the Ethereum Foundation trying to act like a permanent manager of the ecosystem, like the foundation has this explicit goal of we are going to, our job is to empower outside actors to, grow and become stronger and become more independent over time. The goal is that at some point they actually stop becoming more as dependent on the foundation at all, and the ecosystem comes like closer and closer to this point where, like, if the foundation blows up completely, then it gets easier. It becomes more and more obvious that the ecosystem actually can kind of keep going and survive on its own. There's like actual technical decisions that back this up, right? So like one of the things that distinguish Ethereum from most other blockchains, for example, is this like multi-client roadmap, right? Like there's an explicit separation between the spec and implementations of the spec, right? So there's about like 5 different clients that are called consensus clients that handle the proof of stake part of Ethereum. There's 5 clients that are execution clients that handle the EVM and blocks and like accounts and transactions side of Ethereum. And these are independent companies. Some of them actually already have independent business models, so they're not dependent on like any Ethereum Foundation grant dollars. Some of them, right? And like it's not like 5, like it's not even just 5. Like that number continues growing over time. And then if we look at ZK EVMs at zero knowledge proofs, like that ecosystem is even more distributed. So trying to like make those technical decisions that kind of irreversibly, push power away from the center, and that's like a really difficult balance to get right. And in the early years of doing such a strategy, I think like trust in the center to actually do this sort of thing right is unavoidable. But like as things go further and further, it like there actually is real power that's not in the hands of the center anymore. So like trying to like create this environment where like it's expected that most work or a large share of the work happens outside the center in these kind of edge environments where anyone can participate and be part of it, and that share grows more and more over time is, I think, one of the things that I think we're trying hard to do. And I mean, obviously how successful this is going to be in 10 or 20 years, like it remains to be seen, right? Like it might fail, and it might be the case that like one of these Silicon Valley people figures out that they can make an alt layer one and they can like bribe them all huge amounts, and they'll get like picked off and walk over despite everyone's original intentions. But like there's lots of ways in which this sort of stuff can socially fail, but like I feel like so far it's actually been surprisingly successful and more successful than I expected.
Nice. Thank you.